New at 6, Denver taxpayers paying millions of dollars more this year for the computer software used by city workers.
A CBS 4 investigation finds the increased costs come as Denver city government admits violating software licensing agreements. Investigator Brian Moss talked to one expert who believes Denver taxpayers are paying for some big mistakes.
We are going to get started
in city council meetings,
which is technology services.
Denver's Technology Services Division said it needed a lot more money this year for a new contract with software giant Oracle, saying this was just truing up and right-sizing the current contract,
which is the true up of our licenses going forward.
Denver had been paying Oracle about $1 million a year, but now quadrupling that to nearly $4 million this year. Why?
We were non-compliant with our licensings. We were using licensing that we had not updated our licensing model for.
The city of Denver violated licensing agreements with Oracle, which led to this email from Oracle to Denver, obtained by CBS 4, suggesting the city had so vastly violated its software licensing, it might be on the hook for $10 million for current overdeployment. But, said Oracle, it was willing to give Denver a break and settle for a new contract with another $3 million in revenue.
Is that in any sense a fine for the violations that occurred prior?
I'm glad you asked. It is not a fine.
It is not, but it just happens to be $4 million.
It is
3.9 million.
It's a true up, absolutely,
okay,
for 2017 to get to the right licensing count.
But what does that really mean?
They dropped the ball, right? And they got what they got because they weren't keeping an eye on the ball.
Craig Guarente was an Oracle vice president, now running a company helping Oracle customers who violate their licensing agreements. He says when the city violated its contract, it fell into a familiar trap Oracle uses.
It's like shock and awe, right? You just throw everything against the wall and you say, hey, you potentially could owe us $10 million. Doesn't this $3 million deal look like a good deal? And a lot of businesses and public sector entities will say, yeah, that 3 is better than 10.
So how far out of compliance was Denver? And how did it make such a costly mistake?
We declined the interview.
The head of Denver's Technology Services talked to us by phone but declined to speak on camera, so we arranged an unscheduled interview.
I want to see if I could ask you a couple questions about the Oracle contract.
Despite our repeated questions, Scott Cardenas still would not specifically explain what happened.
How did you guys get so far out of compliance?
Your statement was, how did we get so far out? We'll get out of compliance. This was an exercise to do a true up to get back in compliance.
An expensive exercise for Denver taxpayers, says Guarente.
They paid a price. Denver paid a price. Denver paid a penalty for being out of compliance, and it was millions of dollars.
Brian Moss, CBS 4 News.
Oracle told us they would not comment on what happened, but they have now told Denver International Airport they want to audit the airport's use of Oracle software.